Hello, my friends. It's Nick. It's the ASMR nerd. And today I've got a pretty unprecedented unboxing video for you. You can tell just how unprecedented it is by the fact that I am certainly not in my normal unboxing space. As a matter of fact, this thing would not fit in my normal filming space. It is too big. And I reckon not only is this an unprecedented unboxing for me, but it might be a world first. I don't think anybody has ever attempted to do an ASMR unboxing of this bad boy before. So I'm really looking forward to this. So what is this exactly? Well, you can kind of tell by the box and by the title of this video, probably. But let me give you a little backstory here. So some months back, the publisher of Space Marine 2, this game right here, reached out and asked if I would be interested in unboxing something around the release of this game. Being a fan of Warhammer 40k and looking forward to this game, I said, absolutely, that would be fantastic. And I was expecting something like maybe a collector's edition. I've certainly done unboxings with those before. Well, fast forward a few months, and this shows up without any warning on my doorstep. This thing is about 50 pounds, and it is far more than just a collector's edition. This is a limited edition, 1 of 1,300, 1/6 scale, beautiful hand-painted statue of Lieutenant Titus from Space Marine and Space Marine 2. It is made in collaboration between Wētā Studio. You might know them from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. That's where they originated from, I believe, building all his props and things like that for those films. But of course, they spun off into a company that ultimately creates collectible miniatures like this, statues, things like that, things like Lieutenant Titus here, and of course in collaboration with Games Workshop. And I am just in awe of this thing, just the box. I'm in awe of what might be inside. I've not taken a look yet, so this is going to be all raw impressions, and I'm going to do my best to keep this ASMR-ish, relaxing. But when you're dealing with a 50 pound box and something of this magnitude, it can be a little tricky. So hopefully the audio sounds all right. There'll be more room noise than usual, inevitably, but I hope that this is both fun, interesting, and relaxing for you, because there's nothing more relaxing than the eternal war of the grim dark future of the 41st millennium. So without further ado, let's start this unboxing. So I figure we'll start off by taking a look at the box, because there's actually a lot to look at here as well. Here we've got Lieutenant Titus with his helmet on, all decked out in his Ultramarines power armor, wielding his chain sword. We've also got some other accessories in here as well, as you'll see once we get into it. His chainsword dripping with gore from the Hormigaunt that he is crushing underfoot. Space Marine 2 is, of course, all about playing as a Space Marine. You play as Lieutenant Titus, the main character, as you did in Space Marine 1 as well. And I've played a decent chunk of the game so far, and I'm freaking loving it. It is exactly the Space Marine fantasy you want, and I think it is the most beautiful and visceral realization of that setting of any game I've ever played. So, and this obviously captures that aesthetic very well. You kill a lot of Hormagaunts in Space Marine 2. But the cool thing is, whoa, look at that. This thing opens up. Now I'm going to have to get up here. I'm going to have to move this over so you can actually see what's going on here with this fold out situation. It reminds me of, like, you know, a box for a little action figure. It's just on the largest scale I've ever seen. Or like the front of an old boxed PC game. Over here, we have another depiction of Lieutenant Titus. Some of the crazy details of the statue inset down there. Over here, we have some information on the character and the sculpting of this incredible model. Here we have some photos of what looks to be the painting process, I guess. These are all hand painted, these miniatures. So each one's going to be a little bit different, and given the scale, the size of this thing, that's a lot of painting. Incredible. Unbelievable. I won't read the entirety of what's in here, but we've got some credits down below. It says here, a symphony of artistry and devotion to the grim, dark universe of Warhammer 40k has unfolded. So, and if you are interested in learning more about Lieutenant Titus and this statue in particular, this collectible, there is, of course, a link down below where you can check it out on Wētā Workshop's studio, and you can read all about it. So let's close that up very carefully here. Very carefully. On top, Lieutenant Titus, 1x6 scale, or 1:6 scale limited edition. We turn it around. Got the Ultramarines insignia on the side here. On the back, we have an incredible action shot of Titus fighting off a horde of Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts are, of course, Tyranids. Tyranids are an extragalactic alien invader hell-bent on destroying all life in the galaxy. When I played 40k, I played as the Nids. That was my army. They're a lot of fun. Alright, so that's the box. Now, let's see, what's the best way to open this? Go down this way for this portion, because it looks like the lid comes up this way. So, I'm going to do that tab there. Lift the top, like so. And inside, we are greeted by a whole bunch of styrofoam, which I suppose shouldn't be too surprising. So this might be a situation where I'm just going to take this big pile of styrofoam out of here, and then we'll continue with the unboxing. All right, I've managed to extract the styrofoam encasement from the box, and you can see it's got the Wētā Workshop logo right here on it. I think I've got the right side up. It does say up right over here, so I'm hoping that means that we can remove this tape and lift this top off, and everything's going to be nicely situated in there for us to take a look at. So let's see if that's gonna work. Okay, I think I got it all. Well, let's see if we can lift this off. it all is, you guys. Look at all this stuff. Holy smokes. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see what we can get out of here quietly and gently. I'll take each piece out and then I'll show you up close to the camera. So here we have the base of the statue. We have a skull which appears to have maybe fallen from where it's supposed to be. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure we can find somewhere for this skull to go, though. If it doesn't roll away on us. Let's see if we can lift this out now. Okay, the gaunt is kind of nestled on there. Oh my goodness, this is heavy, you guys. Holy smokes. Okay. Whoa. Just get that up on my lap. I know you can't see this very well, but I'll bring it over to you in just a moment. Okay. Blow off all the styrofoam bits too. This is just something else. Okay, alright. So here you can see the bottom portion of our Hormagaunt. Well, it's really the top portion of the Hormagaunt, actually. Upside down, getting crushed by Lieutenant Titus. And I assume that this boot-shaped spot right here is where Titus's foot is going to go once we get him out. But just look at the insane detail already on this base. All these skulls. The scythe of the gaunt down there, the scything arm. Just remarkable. It's also really, really heavy. These things are made out of sort of a synthetic stone. It's plastic, or resin, I should say. But it's incredibly dense and looks and feels a lot like a stone type material. So that's the base right there. Then let's look at Titus himself, shall we? Or parts of Titus, at least. Because he comes in pieces, it seems. Okay. So here we have the body of one Lieutenant Titus. We've got his power armor emblazoned with the Ultramarines sigil. The Ultramarines are perhaps the, I don't want to say most generic, but most stereotypical, prototypical chapters of the Space Marines, and also one of the most revered and respected as well. But you can see that his power armor has seen many a battle, scarred, all that adamantium and ceramite and whatnot has deflected many, many attacks from countless Tyranids, and bolter shots from Chaos Marines, who knows. But this is heavy as well, although not quite as heavy as that base over there. So let's, you know what, I'm gonna put, well, no, we'll just assemble this as we go. Let's move this over a little bit, and let's move the base in here. Can you see that? Yeah, I reckon you can. And I know it's not the closest thing there, but hopefully still visible. And then let's place Lieutenant Titus where he belongs. Just gonna make sure there's not too much bits of styrofoam in there. Okay, so he has a peg on this foot that goes there, a peg on that foot that goes there, and he should just kind of slot into place. There we are, just like so. Okay, his boot securely in the on the head of that tyrannid. Okay, let's rotate a little bit so you can maybe see that a little better. About like so. There we go. All right. So let's see if we can assemble the rest of Titus now. I see here his head. Titus is a dour sort. He's all about, his duty for the Emperor and whatnot. He is grim. Not much of a sense of humor, this guy, but boy, is he an effective killing machine. He's seen some stuff too. Titus is interesting. You can turn his head either way. There's a magnetic connector here. And just look how beautifully that's painted. Amazing, eh? Just gorgeous. I mean, in a manner of speaking. So let's take Titus's disembodied head here and give him a body right there. You'd be looking off that way. Yeah, Titus has seen some pretty grim stuff. Not just the bajillions of Gaunts that he's killed, but he endured quite a bit over the centuries. All right, what's this about? Now this is the helmeted version. So if you want Titus to wear a helmet, protect his noggin, you can pop this on. Again, beautifully painted. Amazing detail. You can see they've used an ink wash, clearly, to give it a weathered look, and also to bring out the detail, all the pitted, pockmarked details on the helmet. So if you want, you can swap that on instead. Personally though, I'm all about helmetless Titus. He just looks so much more badass that way. You can also choose whether you want to do that or not in the game, whether you have the helmets on your squad or not. But it's nice to have the option here as well. All right, what else do we have here? I'm not sure where this skull goes. Once again, I think it might have actually come off the base somewhere. Maybe here or there. For now, it can just hang out right there. Okay. So now we're getting into the arms, the literal arms. We'll come across the weapons afterwards, I think. But Titus's literal arms, these massive pauldrons, ultra emblazoned across the pauldron. Got some decals here, as well as over here. I wonder if you can actually read the prayers. I can't. You might be able to with a microscope or magnifying glass. Titus, of course, served as a black shield in the Death Watch, and that's a fairly critical plot point following the first game and into the second game as well. And that's reflected in his adornments here, as you can see on his arm. He was reinstated into the Ultramarines at the beginning of Space Marine 2. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler to say it happens pretty quickly. So now I think this must go here. This is a bit of a tight fit, I must admit. It's a bit of a tight fit. So I'm going to have to just wiggle it in there, I think. Just to make sure that it's going to, well, it's definitely going to stay in. Might be a little tricky to get it off again, but you know what? You don't really have to get it off again because clearly he is handless currently. And so if you want to swap out the weapons, you can do that easily without having to remove the whole arm. Let's grab his other arm here. I appreciate they packaged everything in this delightfully crinkly tissue paper. It makes this much more ASMRable than I had expected. And you know what? I bet you this is going to sound good too. This arm is wrapped in this slightly sticky foam, and I'm going to bring it down towards the mic here so you can hear it better as I unwrap it. It's quiet, but hopefully you can hear that. And let's get that on over here. I'm not quite sure if this hand is supposed to be down, this arm. Probably about like so. That one fits in a little easier than this one. And it's possible I was putting this in maybe slightly wrong, but I think he's supposed to have a raised chainsword over here. So we'll see. Okay, here is the remaining piece of Tyranid, and I think that attaches over here somehow. Gosh, but how? Like so, I guess. Yeah, that's got to be correct. Here, let me see if I can lift this up to show you how that attaches. So it's just gone. Oh my gosh, it's just gone onto the back. This poor Gaunt's rear haunch, just like so. We're missing a leg, or a foot as well. Let's see, is that over here somewhere? Okay, you know, there must be more in the other piece I removed. Maybe, because we're still missing a lot of parts here. We're missing his weapons. We're missing that Gaunt's foot. So I'll have to take a look in a second and see if there's some stuff embedded in that other half of the styrofoam. There may very well be. And then here we have Titus's backpack for his power armor. This is, I believe, what contains the power source for the power armor, or at the very least, it's what handles all the heat that the power armor generates. And I believe these are stabilizers. This is not a jump pack, but I think these are stabilizers for maintaining stability of the suit and helping in low gravity situations and stuff. But as you can see, beautifully detailed. And that's going to go right on the back there. That slots in very comfortably, magnetically once again. But I'll, here, let me just lift this up and show you. This thing is, it's hard to know how to move this thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, and caught on Titus's chains here. There we go. So yeah, it just attaches like so with a magnet. Nice and sturdy. Very good. Okay, so yeah, I think the rest of the goodies must be in that piece of the styrofoam that I removed, that top half. So let's remove his helmet and make sure we have our skull piece there. And I'm gonna bring the other styrofoam piece in here. Okay, I've got the top half here, and indeed, this is where all the other goodies are hanging out. So let's get Titus armed properly, fully armed here, shall we? Put this over here. Oh my gosh, there's so much more stuff here. We've got so many more pieces than I could have imagined. More pieces of Tyrannid. This looks to be this arm. Nope. Maybe, nope, not that scythe. Where does this go? Here. Maybe. Gosh, this is ought to come with instructions. Maybe it does, and I just ignored them. I don't know. Here is the gaunt's tail, looking very bony. Tyrannids are sort of an interesting combination of like insectoid, so you get that kind of exoskeletal look, but they also have this very bony kind of look to them as well. And that clearly comes around here, and it wraps right around Titus's leg down here. We've got another little piece of gaunt here. Another pokey bit. Is that here? No. Where might that go? Ah, that might be his other foot. Yes, indeed. So that goes right down in the back here. Ta-da, like so. And, oh, this is a fun part. A big scythe. These scything talons of the Hormagaunts are, of course, what make them so dangerous. And you can see it's pointy one. And when you consider the scale, when you consider the fact that Lieutenant Titus here is a Primaris Space Marine, bigger, stronger, bulkier than even a typical Space Marine, which is already a mountainous being. This is enormous. I mean, Titus is probably like 10 feet tall or so. And so this is, you know, like a 6-foot scythe or something. The Tyrannids are not to be underestimated. And that goes in right there. That is really dramatic, that big scythe piece coming up in front. And that is also magnetic, like so. Okay, I think this must be our last bit of gaunt right here. I think that goes in here. That's his other forearm. Indeed. And you can see that on this forearm, the scythe has been severed. We've just got a stub left. You can see the interior. It looks like bone marrow or something like that. Very creepy, very cool. Amazingly painted. Again, look at all the detail of all the gore on there. They did a spectacular job painting this thing. Unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. I've never seen a figure like this before. Oh, maybe I lied. We have one more piece of gaunt here. Gosh, where does this go? Oh, this is a severed piece of gaunt. It looks like it must go... I see a spot down here, maybe, where this slots in. Is that right? Down on the ground here. Is that correct? I think that might be where it goes. This is his severed arm. I'll have to double check that, but I do think that's where that's supposed to sit. Just kind of sits on there like so. All right, okay. All right. Now, finally, at last, I think we get to Titus's armaments. So here we have Titus's bolt pistol, his bolt pistol. And this is his sidearm. It's going to sit down on his leg. And I think, yeah, I bet you it's magnetic, just like so. There you go. It's got a piece of armor plate here that it's affixed to. Nicely detailed, once again. Beautifully painted. And that just magnetically attaches, just like so, and sits on his side. What else? Oh, okay. This is a weapon stand, so that the weapon that we don't have Titus equipped with, we can display proudly by his side. But let's find the other pieces first. Okay, this is some additional gore that we can attach to his chainsword if we so choose. But first, let's find the chainsword. It's got to be this piece right here. And indeed it is. Titus's iron fist gripping his Astartes chainsword, and the nicked and pitted blade lacking the chain part, because, as I was saying, we can either add the ultra gory attachment somehow, there we go, just like so, with the tyrannid blood and ichor, obviously the most relaxing of ASMR visuals. And you can see the teeth of the chainsword there as well. Or, if you're feeling a little squeamish, oh, oopsies, that was unfortunate. Word of warning to those of you who acquire this. This is quite fragile. These blood drips, very fragile. I'm going to have to reattach that drip there with a little bit of model cement. That shouldn't be too difficult, but I should have been more careful there. But for those of you who are a little squeamish and don't want all that gore, but do want your massive space marine stomping the head of this gaunt, just not chopping him up, you know, then you can just use the slightly bloodied but not dripping chainsword blade there, looking appropriately menacing. And that should slot in just like so, I reckon. Somehow. There we go. Can you even see that? My gosh. Somehow managed to still be out of frame. Let's move this in a little bit. There you go. There, now you can properly see that chainsword there as well. Gosh, okay. We're almost there. There's like just 2 more pieces, I think. One is another weapon stand. Or maybe this is the helmet stand, actually. I bet you that's what it is. If we take this helmet, we can place it like so, if we so choose, to display that while we have him unhelmeted. So we can put that down here, like so. And that leaves us with just one more item, and it is an epic one. I lied, 2 more items. What is this? We've got some pouches with some fabric. This probably goes on his other leg, I would guess. Or is it an option if we, no, where would that go? Where would that go? It goes on his lower back. There we are. That makes sense. It just affixes right back there. I'm not going to turn him around to show you because he's getting really heavy. But you can see beautifully detailed once again, all the fabric. I don't know if you can, you probably can't hear that because the mic's down here, but really nicely detailed pouches. So that's going to go right back here to protect Titus's modesty from the rear. And last but certainly not least, we have the Thunder Hammer. This is a fearsome weapon wielded by only the mightiest of Space Marines, or sometimes Terminators, I suppose. But look at this, covered in blood here, where it's smashed in Tyranid heads. But the Thunder Hammer is a massive weapon that, when it makes contact with the enemy, explodes with concussive force, adding a thunder-like eruption to every strike. It is beautifully modeled here. Just incredible. Gorgeously painted. And that can also be wielded by Titus if we choose to remove his chainsword. We can replace it with the Thunder Hammer somehow. Let's see. How is this going to go in here? Like so. It's keyed in a certain way, so you can really only put it in a certain way. This is trickier than it looks, okay? Because it's gonna bump into him if we... I think it must be like this. I guess it's supposed to be like that. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. But that's a trickier one to get it to attach. Unless it's supposed to be like this. No, it's got to be like so. Honestly, I think they're both badass, but I like the chainsword more. I think this is gonna look fantastic on that weapon stand. If we can do that. Oop. There we are. Just like so. That is spectacular. So let's put that down here for the moment. And let's reattach that chainsword like so. And I believe that is everything. Let me just clean up here a little bit, and then I'll bring it closer to the camera for you. And here is Titus, Lieutenant Titus, in his completed glory. An absolutely spectacular model. I've never seen anything like this before. And it is so much more than I'd even imagined. Let me just, lift with the legs, Nick, lift with the legs. Bring this in here so you can properly appreciate the absolute size of this lad. Like I said, he is heavy. I think the whole box is about 40 pounds. He's probably at least 35. Unreal. Incredible detail. And absolutely spectacular craftsmanship. In terms of the sculpting, in terms of the painting, it is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Titus here will sit proudly on my shelf from now on, so that you'll be able to see him in the background of all my videos, although it's going to have to require that I rearrange the background because he's a bulky lad and it's going to take a little bit of work to fit in there. Definitely going to take a bit of rearranging. But wow, what a spectacular model and incredible unboxing experience, friends. I have to give a massive shout out to Focus Entertainment for sending Titus on over for us to unbox and experience here today. I know this was a bit of an unorthodox arrangement, unboxing situation, but I do hope that the audio worked out okay, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing Titus and all his various accessories and his Hormigaunt friend down here. It has been a pretty spectacular privilege to unbox and I guess that's supposed to be like that maybe. Unbox and assemble and experience Titus in all his glory. If you would like to experience Titus in all his glory and many Hormigaunts besides, don't forget to check out Space Marine 2. Like I said, it is an absolutely rollicking good time. It is available on all the major platforms you would expect, and it is a spectacular realization of Warhammer 40k and that fantasy of smashing xenos to death as a Space Marine. So once again, a big old thank you to Focus, the publisher, for sending over not only our boy here, but also copy the game for me to enjoy as well. And if you're interested in picking up that game, or indeed checking out Titus here, Lieutenant Titus Limited Edition statue over on the Wētā Studios website, there will be a link for each of those down below in the video description. Thank you for joining me, my friends. I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you found it relaxing. And I look very forward to having you back here next time. Farewell for now, my friends. For the Emperor. But we're not quite done yet, are we? Because we still have to give special thanks to these sisters, brothers, and others who joined together to help us purge the xenos, cleanse the heretics, all for the glory of the Emperor and this channel, very kindly supporting what I do here and the content that I create. If you would like to join their illustrious ranks, you can find links down below at the top of the video description to my Patreon and my YouTube memberships. There you will find several different tiers, each of which offers a selection of perks, and I'm sure you can find the combination that is right for you, just like these fine folks did. And I have to give them an extra special big thank you this time, because so many of these folks were kindly supporting all through the time that I was on my break recently. That is so generous and just so kind. It really means a lot. So many thanks to the names that you see here. I cannot thank them enough for their generous support. But there is one tier. that does get an extra special thank you in every one of my videos. That is the Fusro Da tier. You are about to hear their names read to you right now, starting with Jake Luffney, Odin's son, Drummer Britt, Ragnar Ragnarsson, Alien Test Subject X59ZY, aka Captain Vanquisher, Smitty, Bruce Buchner, and for the first time, introducing Joe. Welcome, Joe. I'd also like to introduce Ellie, our newest Foos tier member. Welcome, Ellie, and thank you to both Joe and Ellie for their kind support and for signing up. Once again, if you are interested in joining the ranks of these illustrious individuals and getting some fun perks while you're at it, please consider checking out those links down below. And a big, big heartfelt thank you to all this channel's amazing supporters.